Hey folks, Sunsaver here. Please excuse me, I still don't have my false teeth in, so I kind of talking with a lisp right now. Might be good for doing some impersonations of some various characters, but I'll get to doing the funny radio voices later on. This is a remake video, actually, a thank you video to my angel donors, patrons in California, Denise and Keith, her man Keith. They sent me another care package in the mail, and I filmed it. I did like a big opening ceremony, and had my honest reactions at the time, which I can't really reproduce the honest reactions because I've already opened the box and made the video. The audio didn't take. I didn't realize I had my privacy settings, I had my microphone turned off. So anyhow, but I do want to go ahead and say thank you to Denise and her hubby, her man Keith, there in California. They live near Santa Rosa in California. They sent me this care package, and timing is everything. Whether it's electric motors, sex, war, timing is everything. And so it was really perfect timing because my money just ran out. I'm totally broke right now. I'm sort of in between paydays, so to speak, and getting really low on food and tobacco, which I just bought these cigarettes. Another angel donor, one of my patrons in Mississippi, Miss Wanda. So this video is for you too, Miss Wanda. I'll shoot you a link on Facebook. Thanks for buying the smokes, and I got me a little bottle of kratom from the store here, which is my new psych med of choice, I should say. Help keep my emotions under control. So let's take a look at what Denise sent me, though. And one of the first things I noticed, instant coffee. Boy, these really come in handy, when we have our monthly tornado around here in Louisiana. Or sometimes, our third or fourth tornado of the month. But anyhow, this saves me when I run out of coffee filters, or if I don't want to fire up the electric coffee maker. I can just heat some water over a campfire and instant coffee. Really good stuff. Second thing I noticed, Scotch tape by 3M Corporation. Quite possibly the greatest invention of the 20th century. Good for making models, taping your kid's picture on the refrigerator, rapid prototyping. I use it for insulation on electric wires and motors. So when I'm building electric motors or experimental machines, this really, I really run through this pretty quickly. And the third thing I noticed, duct tape. Probably the second greatest invention of the 20th century. So, and non-fat dry milk. This is just dehydrated milk. At the grocery store, this is very, very expensive nowadays. Like a little box this big is $12. I love it. I use it to make candy. I use it for creamer in my coffee. Sometimes just eat it right out of the bag, or make milk. Just cold water. It doesn't have to be all that cold for me. I'll just eat for eating cereal, So I don't have to keep milk. I don't have to keep refrigerator going, just wasting electricity. Refrigeration is really not needed for much of anything except for meats that will go bad if bugs get in there and stuff. So most vegetables and things are already been sterilized, and they'll keep just even like ham. I buy ham and I just keep it in a cool room, which is, I don't need a refrigerator for anything. I don't miss it. I don't really miss it hardly at all. Some canned soup and stuff. These MREs, Cliff protein bars, chewy granola, Another protein chewy bar. These MREs are just wonderful. It's a blessing. You don't have to cook. You get hungry, low blood sugar, and start thinking about how I want to go find Donald Trump and beat the ever living hell out of him. Sort of eat one of these and calm down, man. Take a chill pill, Let somebody else take care of that crook. Seeds. She sent sugar snaps. These too late to plant them now. I usually plant these in September, October, but in Louisiana these will grow pretty much through the entire winter. These are edible potted, but you can grow English peas here. Lettuce and spinach also grows well through our mild winters, which we normally have here. Hardly ever snows in Louisiana until climate change happens. Fancy soaps, organic soaps, and this is Lyman extra fine Italian soap. Oh, thank you, Denise. This is one of the things I really oohed and awed about on the original video that this video is intended to replace. These things, I haven't tried them yet. There's some kind of like it says green tea cream covered biscuit sticks. So these are like a little candy bar, like little cookie sticks. These will go good with instant coffee, I'm sure. What else we had in here? Little vitamin C packets. I've already got those out and used most of them up. But the little vitamin C packets is kind of like Tang, the old Tang that the Apollo astronauts used to use. Sort of like instant orange juice, so that's really cool to have. Too bad those Russian soldiers that are murdering innocent women and children in Ukraine don't have access to all these kind of goodies that we have in America. God bless America. Socks. These look like some really nice warm wool socks. These are also a blessing to have, next time a hurricane marches through and rips my roof off and I got water all in my house and nobody coming to help me. No homeowners insurance. Friends that I can't relate to because they totally don't believe in the same things that I believe in due to social media and fake news from Fox. What else we got here? There was something else. Cigarette lighters. Cigarette lighters. Well, I certainly needed that and the cigarettes, so thank you, Wanda, and thank you, Denise, for sending cigarette lighters. Well, I think that's about it. You sent some raisins and celestial tea seasoning. These are really good. And orange is like one of my favorites. So that's really nice to have. Alright, well, I guess that about covers the remake of the opening ceremony, the thank you video. This is a thank you video again for Denise and Keith in California. Tell Keith I said hi, and tell him I said thanks for letting you do the sort of service that you do for you other folks out there. Denise occasionally goes out and helps her daughter. I think she works with the Red Cross or some local organization there in the Santa Rosa area. They give like flashlights and tents and things to homeless people. There's a really bad housing crisis and homelessness in California, because of the sort of the policies that these billionaire class have put in place that are really bad for America. Instead of ruled by we the people, it's ruled by a handful of really horrible corporations that are polluting, and they could change their ways if they wanted to. They could make people want electric cars if they wanted to make electric cars. They could save the environment entirely because they're the ones that are killing the environment. We're just going with the flow, like my buddy, he's afraid the Biden Nazis are going to come take his washing machine or whatever. Where's he getting this from? You know, I'm not running around scared that the Biden administration is going to confiscate any of my appliances. The impersonations. Let's do John Kennedy, my representative here in Louisiana. I like the guy, so this is not an insult to the Honorable Mr. Kennedy. But he recently was on the news after being briefed by the Aero organization, I think, regarding the Chinese spy balloon and the UFOs, the other three that were UFOs. What did he say? He said, if you feel entirely confused by the situation, he said, if you feel entirely confused by the Chinese spy balloon and the UAPs, then you understand the situation perfectly well. Another one I used to do really well, I think, was, I probably can't do it with my teeth in, that probably didn't even sound like him. But, was George Bush Sr. I said, Barbara, I'm the president. Not gonna do it. Not gonna eat broccoli. I don't like broccoli. I don't have to eat broccoli. And you're not my mama. I'm the president. I don't have to eat broccoli. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Those damn Biden Nazis want Bushes to start eating broccoli. Hey, it's a free country, man. George Bush doesn't have to eat broccoli if he doesn't want to. Come on. What's wrong with you, Joe? Well, I guess that's about all I got. Oh, I want to plug, this is for my fellow YouTubers that are into science fiction, which everything is science fiction now on social media, especially, and the news, that's all science fiction, apparently. When it comes to the actual physics of real reality, opposed to virtual reality or artificial intelligence, artificial reality. As opposed to real intelligence, like a scientist would have, concerned scientists that are worried about the global environment and the high likelihood that we're going to enter a nuclear war here pretty soon. A movie called Cyborg 2087. It was produced in 1966. American International Films or something like that, but it has a couple quality actors in there. Special effects pretty good for 1966, but the plot, like, I know James Cameron must have watched this movie when he was a kid, because it's an inspired movie, and the plot is very timely, except for, again, timing is everything. And they missed the date, 2087. They should have said, like 2017, when the congressional report on cyber warfare came out. The only reason I went into that and was going to read that whole thing was for, fellow YouTubers and small business owners out there, true libertarians, not the coke heads that Coke industry and this bogus Tea Party shit. That was all sort of they tried to cook up a grassroots. I mean, that wasn't grassroots. I'm an environmentalist. I was attracted to libertarianism because, hey, this means, smaller government means I'm free to not buy gasoline. I'm free to not have a gas burning stove or whatever, Libertarianism means you can grow your own food organically without poisons and pesticides in there. Okay, things like that. So that was what originally attracted me to the libertarian movement. But when I realized that most all of the public messaging and social media was really being taken over by this sort of racist ideology of Coke Industries, I was watching a documentary on public television, which used to be one of my main go-to channels for news and information. Documentary on Nova about the 1880s coal miners. Sponsored by a generous grant from Koch Industries and ExxonMobil. Surprise, surprise. In this documentary, supposed documentary, they were rewriting history, bro. They were totally rewriting my American history. They said, oh, the 1880s coal miners were happy and willing African and Chinese immigrants, and they were well paid and well loved. Bull fucking shit. They were slaves. They were brought over here on slave ships. I was looking at applying for a job in Palo Alto, California. Something to do with, clean hydrogen. Which actually it should be oxyhydrogen. This is water gas. It's not separated hydrogen. So anyways, water's free and it's pretty much everywhere. And you can run your car on it. Just change the timing on your car and you're good to go. So anyhow, I found out that probably this company that I got a notification, I might want to apply for this job. Well, who owns it? This Peter Thiel guy. Or Thiel or whatever. So, nothing against homosexuals, but, the fact that he's a homosexual, but he's supporting anti-gay and lesbian legislation in Congress. That's sort of a conflict of interest, It seems like if you're a homosexual and you're proud of your homosexuality, then you would vote to defend the First Amendment rights that we have in the USA. Why is this guy promoting basically Russian Nazi-style propaganda? Again, my buddy, I've been friends with since high school, he's totally convinced that Ukraine is being overrun by Nazis and they're putting all the Catholic priests in prison and all this kind of stuff. Man, that's not the news I'm getting. He claims he's getting it straight from the source. He's got a friend in Ukraine. Well, how much do you know about this friend? How do you know your friend is not a Russian operative that's just trying to influence you on social media? And got all these douchebag influencers on social media too, YouTube included. These channels come out of nowhere. All of a sudden they got 10,000, 100,000 subscribers. The channel's not even a year old. I've been making YouTube videos for fucking 12 years. Everybody supposedly likes reality television. Well, this is reality. I'm a real human. Okay? Most of these channels, these people, they're not passing my human test. And so all the misinformation, I got to get out of the whole UFO topic. UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them. I'm talking about the little gray aliens that are about 3.5 foot tall. They got big bug eyes, no nose or mouth that's really visible when they're talking. What can I do about it? I can't stop them from flying over your house at night. I can't stop them from abducting your kids and sucking body fluids out of them and doing experiments or butt probing them or whatever they're doing. That's on them, So I got no other information other than the fact that 3 strikes you're out. And when the third person comes on TV and says, yeah, I seen the same thing that Sunsaver seen. Okay, well, it's probably really happening. And that's not fun, not a good thing to know, because if these aliens have been here, then if they're here, they've been here since 1947, the Roswell crash, right? Well, they were here before that probably. So they didn't stop World War I from happening. They didn't stop World War II from happening. And obviously they're not going to stop World War III from happening. So I don't really want to see one of these little aliens ever again unless it's in a federal court of law and that motherfucker's giving me a whole lot of money or something. I wouldn't mind going to Area 51, S4, or wherever it is, to look at the recovered materials to see if I can reverse engineer them for weapons to fight off the evil aliens. and the evil Russians that are invading Ukraine and murdering innocent women and children. These are not Nazis. They're innocent women and children. They're being killed. And they're stealing washers and dryers. Apparently there's a washer and dryer shortage in Russia. So, that's all I got to say about that. No more geopolitics. But the cyber war is hot and ongoing. If you're a small business owner, you need to update your computer. You need to back up your data. You need to be on the lookout for hackers. They're desperately Iranians, North Koreans, and Russians. They're constantly probing our networks and computer systems. They're constantly trying to see what information they can use against the American people. They've got us all divided. I can't even talk to my neighbor because he thinks I'm some kind of a radical liberal Nazi or something. I'm just a scientist. I'm just a concerned scientist that's really worried about losing my civil rights entirely. You know, like the time I was locked up and tortured for 2 weeks just because I was talking about free energy. That's it. Thanks for watching.